Join me today as we make some curly fries to go with those burgers for the dolls. Stay tuned and see how fun and easy this is to do. Alright, so this week we are going to make some curly fries. So we started out, we've got some white clay. I don't even know for sure what this is. It's probably a Sculpey product because it feels sticky, but it's a white polymer clay. I've rolled it out to the second setting on my pasta machine, and now I'm going to color it before I start cutting it. It'll simply be a lot easier. So I've got my knife. I don't like to use my clay knife, but I don't see my craft knife on my table. This is some yellow ochre colored chalk. We're going to start with this one. And you'll see why we're doing this before we cut here. When we go to do the... My brush is dirty, that's okay. We really want to burnish this into the surface. And we're going to turn it over. We do the same thing. And this is a makeup brush from the Dollar Tree. It's an eyeshadow brush. It's my preference. It's starting to shed though. It looks like I may need to. May need to replace this one. Now I have kind of a reddish brown color. These are old chalks. They're starting to break. Because a lot of times our curly fries have kind of a warm, kind of a reddish colored seasoning on them. Now this clay will have to go in your scrap bin. Whatever's left, whatever you don't use today, you're going to have to scrap because you don't want to put this back in with the rest of the clay. And I have one that's just a little bit darker. I'm going to run over the surface. Turn it over and get the other side. Now, I'm going to take our clay knife or any long blade. I'm going to cut off this first bit, and that's going to be waste. Now I'm just cutting strips that are approximately as wide as the clay is thick. So I'm going to show you the next step, and then I'm going to continue off camera because this step is what's going to take the time, and then I'll come back and show you how we turn this into curly fries. So now I'm going to take that chalk and we're going to color these cut sides. This takes a lot longer because it's not going to stay still as well as that big chunk of clay did. Ah, come on, roll over. So I am going to turn the camera off. I'm going to cut this into strips and color both cut sides of each piece. And when I get that done, I'll be back and I'll show you how to turn this into a curly fry. Okay, I got those all done now, and my hands are so full of chalk. All right, now we have some things to form our onion rings on. I have some wooden golf tees. I have some various metal knitting needles. This is not one of my things. And I have a wooden skewer. This one I know is a size 1. I have no idea what size these are because I'm not a knitter. I buy knitting needles to work with clay. All I know is these are double-ended knitting needles, and they are so useful. So we are going to start, let's start with a golf tee. We are just going to take these strips and we're going to wrap them. Now, all of these things are fine to bake with. Just make sure your golf tee is wooden and not plastic. I don't know if they make plastic ones or not, but same with your knitting needles. Make sure they're metal and not plastic. And I wouldn't bother using, like, I know they make bamboo knitting needles, but I think they're pretty expensive. I like having a variety of sizes. It'll make these look a lot more realistic when we get to plating them up. Because when you get a batch of curly fries, they are all sizes, and you can get several on a plate, each form. And some of them I'm winding up really tight, some of them I'm winding loose. Let's get another size. And if they break, that's fine. The potato, the clay, not the knitting needle. And this one, let's get really tight. And let's do this one down here, pretty loose. And I let the clay kind of spin around so it has some variety in the coloring and the way it looks. They look better that way. So I'm just going to wind these around, and then I'm going to balance these all. That's a paper plate I used for something else, but that's okay. So these can just sit on your paper plate, get baked. And then we'll need to do the next step on these while they're still hot from the oven. So I'm going to finish winding these up, and when I get them wound up and then baked, I'll be right back here with them nice and warm, and we can get them off of our forms. Alright, these are fresh out of the oven, and they are pretty warm, especially these metal pieces. So I've got a paper towel here to hold on to them with, but it's best to get them off while they're still warm, because as you can see, they remain a little bit pliable until they cool off. Come on, come on. This is hot. This is warm. Come on, let go. They're not quite as warm. The metal ones will stay warm longer. Wood is not nearly as hot. Come on. In case you're wondering, it has an S and an F on it because I was doing a test bake using some Fimo clay versus some Sculpey clay on a project a few weeks ago. And I use these plates over and over again until they start to get looking really gross. There we go. Okay, those are still warm, those need to cool. And now we've got curly fries. That's all there is to it, guys. You dump these up into a basket with your burgers, and they make some pretty convincing curly fries. So I hope you enjoyed this clay project. Be sure and look for the link to my Facebook group in the description box below. Come over there and join us. I even let people choose last week which order we were going to do our projects in. Find the blog post. I'll talk a little bit more about the project on the blog, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.